When World War I began in 1914, the airplane was more a novelty than an instrument of war. Flying at 60 miles an hour, planes were used to scout enemy lines and take pictures of advancing armies. But as soon as someone figured out how to rig machine guns and bombs to aircraft, planes became fighters. Throughout the war, there would be an increasing demand for faster planes and skilled pilots. But when the Great War finally ended in 1918, there was a surplus of airplanes, and former pilots now took their skills to the countryside. They created flying circuses with willing assistants. Known as barnstormers, these aerial acrobats flew over farms and fields, twisting, diving, and twirling through the air. Barnstormers sparked the imagination of young and old alike, including Bessie Coleman, who wanted to fly so badly she left her own country because no one would teach an African-American woman to fly. She obtained her flying license in France and returned to start her own flying troupe. By the late 1920s, pilots and planes were bound to race, to be the first to cross countries, continents, and oceans. When Charles Lindbergh took off from New York in 1927, he hoped to win a $25,000 prize by being the first pilot to fly solo, nonstop from New York to Paris. As the Spirit of St. Louis landed, thousands greeted him. Not long after, Amelia Earhart would also capture the imagination of adoring fans, the first woman ever to succeed a solo transatlantic crossing. She received many awards during her all-too-brief career, including the Distinguished Flying Cross. Men and women created the golden age of aviation when planes truly went faster and further than ever before.
It was an exciting time, and it was Wiley Post, the one-eyed pilot from Oklahoma, who was leading the way in aviation in the early 30s. Now, Wiley knew that people had gone around the world before, but he knew it could be done a little bit faster. He predicted he could do it in, let's say, under 10 days. And with his co-pilot, Harold Gaddy, they both got in the Winnie Mae, took off from New York, and headed east. They headed out and had to make 14 stops on their first trip around the world, completing that round-the-world jaunt in just 8 days and 15 hours. Ticker tape parade down Broadway met them upon their return. Now, Wiley also knew he could probably do it a little bit faster once again if he did it by himself. So up again he went, solo this time, only having to stop 11 times, and completed the flight in 7 days, 18 hours, bettering his record by a little less than a day. Wiley also knew that to get up higher and faster, he'd have to develop some kind of a pressured suit that would protect him from the elements when he was high aloft. And so, with help from B.F. Goodrich, they designed an early pressure suit that allowed him to go higher and farther than ever before. And when it came time to retire the Winnie Mae, Congress knew that the only place for her to go was here to the Smithsonian Museum. And when you look at the Winnie Mae, on her fuselage, these great achievements are listed in order as they happened with Wiley Post. On the bottom, Los Angeles to Cleveland in substratosphere at 340 miles per hour. That's a lot faster than this plane could fly on its own. And that tells us that he got it up there in the substratosphere, got in the jet stream, and was cruising at a very fast rate.